I settled into my small apartment in Maple City. With my dog, Nino, my life felt simple. I grew up far away, up in a mountain village. After my dad passed away, I had to look after my mom and younger brother, so I moved here to find work. Luckily, I got a job at a toy store, which was perfect for me because I've loved dolls since I was a kid. The best part was being able to keep some of the rare dolls we got at a discounted price. The shop was filled with toys from all over the world, stuffed animals that felt soft and warm, painted wooden dolls carved by hand, and plenty of other unusual figures. Each one seemed to hold a little mystery or story. One afternoon, a new shipment arrived. These dolls were part of a special collection called the Labubu series. The moment I saw them, my interest was piqued. Among the dolls was one I just couldn't resist. It had coppery fur that seemed to shine even under the dull lights in the shop, bright silver eyes that caught the light, really long ears that flopped a bit, and the weirdest, widest smile you could imagine. That grin looked almost too big for the face. The whole batch sold out fast, but I had secretly set this one aside for myself before the rush. I was excited that evening when I brought the doll home. I placed the Labubu carefully on my old wooden shelf next to my favorite books. I couldn't stop looking at it. It had this odd charm that made me want to take pictures and show it around. I even introduced it to Nino, like it was a new member of our little family. Nino usually loved new toys or dolls. He would sniff them curiously, wag his tail, then settle down near me. But this time was different. As soon as he saw the Labubu doll, his tail stopped wagging, his ears flattened back, and he started growling quietly but firmly. It was almost like he was warning me. I figured Nino was probably just scared of the unfamiliar doll. I tried to comfort him and put the doll back on the shelf. After that, I went to sleep. But instead of curling up in his usual place by the bed, Nino stayed staring at the shelf for a long time before quietly slipping out of the room. The next morning, the same strange behavior repeated. Nino kept barking at the doll, pulling at my clothes, clearly asking me to pay attention to the shelf. I was frustrated and a little confused. Worried that he might cause trouble while I left, I locked him in the bathroom for the day and headed to work. That day was one of the worst I'd ever had. Everything seemed to irritate me. A customer said something rude, and I lost my cool for no clear reason. Then I argued with my boss, and before I knew it, I was fired. Walking out of the shop, my tears mingled with confusion. Why had I snapped so easily? When I got home, I let Nino out, and he stayed close, comforting me with his soft whines. That night, sleep didn't come easy. As I lay in bed, I thought I heard a strange laughter echoing softly in the shadows of my room. A feeling of dread crept over me. Out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a shadowy figure watching me from where the darkness pooled. My heart raced as I flicked on the light quickly. To my surprise, there was nothing but the Labubu doll, sitting quietly on the shelf with the same unnerving grin. Trying to shake off the fear, I climbed beneath the blankets, but the nightmares came anyway. I dreamed of a terrible creature, its teeth sharp like knives, skin pale and rotting, and eyes glowing red. It moved toward me, its claws wrapping around my neck, squeezing harder and harder. I tried to scream, but the creature laughed cruelly and attacked. I jolted awake, heart pounding, only to find the Labubu doll lying on my chest. That smile seemed bigger, almost mocking me. My shout woke Nino immediately. He bounded over, barking furiously, and latched onto the doll with his teeth. He shook it hard until stuffing and fibers spilled everywhere.
I was shaking from the shock. Once I'd picked up the mess, I threw the remains in the trash bin. Nino curled beside me, as if guarding against whatever had come into my dream. But the next morning was worse. My head throbbed like never before, and red bumps covered my hands, itchy and painful. Even more upsetting, Nino was missing. I called his name over and over. I searched every corner of the apartment, but he was nowhere to be found. Tired and confused, I stumbled into the bathroom to wash my face. In the mirror, I saw marks across my skin, red bite-like spots that I hadn't noticed before. Then for a terrifying moment, I saw a horrifying figure standing right behind me. It looked like the creature from my dream, with sharp teeth and glowing eyes. I spun around fast, but there was nothing there. Only the Labubu doll, sitting innocently on the top shelf, with that same creepy smile. I felt a growing panic claw at me. How was the doll even still here? I thought it was destroyed. Moving quickly, I rushed through the apartment looking for answers. The doll had moved again. This time, it sat on the kitchen counter next to the sink. The creepy smile was still there, but now its mouth and little hands were stained a dark red, like dried blood. I didn't want to know any more, but I forced myself to check under the sink, and there, lying still, was Nino. His fur was matted with that same dark red substance. I fell to my knees, tears burning my eyes. The realization hit me hard. The Labubu doll was no ordinary toy. Not knowing what else to do, I turned to the internet, searching for any information on the Labubu series. I found chilling stories from all over the world. People had bought those dolls only to lose their jobs, fall ill, or suffer the loss of loved ones shortly after. Some shops had stopped selling Labubu dolls entirely. In many places, spiritual healers and priests had been called in to try to remove dark energies linked to them. Feeling desperate and afraid, I gathered what was left of the doll and took it outside. Pouring lighter fluid over it, I lit a small fire that swallowed the doll's pieces. I gathered its ashes, placed them in a glass jar, and threw it into a river, hoping this would end everything. That same night, I called my younger brother and told him everything, every detail, every strange feeling, hoping to find comfort by sharing the truth. Morning came slow. I felt drained, heavy, almost empty inside. My legs refused to carry me well, and I remember barely making it out of bed. After that, I don't remember much. Friends say they found me on the floor later that day, lifeless. Right beside me, lying calmly, was the same Labubu doll, its smile unchanged, watching silently. People whisper that Labubu is more than a doll. Some say it's connected to an ancient demon, one that hides behind a friendly, playful face, waiting to take over another home.
My name is Arya, and this story began not so long ago, in late spring, when everything in my life felt steady. I was 24, settling into a job fresh out of college, one that I'd wanted so much that it almost felt too good to be real. The company was well known, and though their office was miles from my little town, they took good care of their workers. That meant I had my own small room in the city, a car to get around, and plenty of meals prepared by a friendly cook. I was never the type to chase after 100 hobbies. Honestly, only 2 things made me really happy: seeing my career move forward and keeping up with trends set by famous people online. If I spotted a celebrity using something interesting and I could afford it, I found myself wanting it too. It was kind of harmless fun, and for many months, that was enough for me. But in May, something began to shift. At first, it was just a few odd setbacks,
a dip in my investment, some missed opportunities at work. I brushed them off like anyone would. But then the small stumbles turned into things I couldn't ignore. My job meant a lot to me. I'd always worked hard, and my efforts were noticed. People at the office respected me, and word was, a promotion was right around the corner. I had even started making careful investments. Nothing wild, just the steady kind that grows slowly over time. For a while, everything seemed to be going my way. Until out of nowhere, my savings tanked. The market crashed unexpectedly, and overnight, most of my hard-earned money disappeared. Nobody could explain why, not even the experts. I felt numb, confused. My promotion, which had felt like a sure thing, was suddenly gone too, with no real explanation. The people who had always praised my work avoided my gaze. I told myself, these are just obstacles, and everyone faces tough days. Still, I couldn't shake the sense that something was pushing against me. I tried to be logical, blaming bad luck or even just tough timing. Sometimes I wondered if the stars weren't lined up right. I've always had a soft spot for astrology. But as days passed, a heavy feeling grew inside me. Bad things came faster than I could handle, tiny worries building up, then jumping to strange new fears. I'd always thought of myself as cheerful, someone who could brighten any room, keep my family smiling, and bring good mood to the office. It's why I pushed through, managing expenses at home, making my parents proud, setting an example for my younger brother. But week by week, this cloud settled over me. Financial loss felt like one thing, but then came the heartbreak. My long-term boyfriend and I started missing each other's messages, then calls, then found ourselves fighting over nothing. Where there had been warmth, now there was only cold silence. Our relationship ended with tears, not anger. By then, I was completely lost. Sometimes I would lie awake at night, unable to shake the thought that I was carrying some silent curse on my shoulders. If you've ever been so low you can't find yourself, you know what it's like to feel hopeless for no particular reason. There were physical signs too, waking up with strange bruises on my arms, odd cuts I couldn't explain, a tiredness that clung to me from morning to night. I thought maybe I was getting sick, some disease I'd never heard of, but nothing added up, no matter who I asked. My mother started to hear the worry in my voice during our calls, and soon enough, she insisted I come back home. At first, I refused. If I lost my job too, what would happen to my family? They needed me. My salary helped hold our home together. Still, the fear grew. Eventually, I gave in and went back for a break, hoping the familiar walls of our family home would fix things. At first, things seemed better. My old friends were still there, and my parents did all they could to lift my mood. For a moment, I started feeling like myself again. That didn't last. Within several days, the mood at home shifted. My father's business, which had always been steady, he sells hardware and tools, suddenly started losing money fast. He grew anxious, even sick at times, just as I did. My mother noticed strange bruises on his hands and saw the familiar tiredness in his eyes. She knew something was wrong, something beyond words. We tried everything she suggested, visited local spiritual healers, tried old remedies, repeated prayers she believed would shield us, but nothing seemed to help. After a week at home, locked inside because the world felt just too heavy, I spent more time online. That's when it all clicked. I came across headline after headline about a weirdly popular doll called the Labubu doll. People in the news and on social media were calling it haunted, blaming it for all sorts of bad luck, lost jobs, sudden illness, relationships ending for no clear reason. Most of these stories started the same way. People bought a Labubu doll and soon after began to notice their world changing in ways they couldn't explain. Suddenly, I remembered, a few weeks before all this began, I had bought the same doll. I'd seen it on social media right after a celebrity I liked posted a photo with one. I didn't hesitate. Within days, it was sitting on my shelf. I brought it everywhere, traveling between my office day and home, not thinking anything of it. Could this be it? Did my problems really start after the doll arrived? I wasn't the only one. People had uploaded stories about their own lives shifting for the worse after buying a Labubu doll. Unexpected job loss, failing health, families fighting for no clear reason. Some even said their stories improved only after they got rid of the doll. More than a few celebrities shared vague posts about their lives getting better after letting go of certain trends. The more I read, the more I knew what I needed to do. There was no way to know if this was real or just a trick of my tired mind. Still, my family and I were desperate. Without waiting any longer, I wrapped the doll up, took it to a dump site not far from our house, and set it on fire. The smoke curled and drifted, and I said every prayer my mother ever taught me. Almost immediately, no more bruises appeared. My father's business, almost overnight, started to show signs of life again. I felt lighter, maybe for the first time in months. By the middle of June, it was as if the bad luck had broken and moved on. I'm not here to say that every Labubu doll out there is a doorway for disaster or that toys can bring curses. Most people would probably laugh at the idea, but articles and videos I found all spoke about the same strange pattern: a new trend, dark turns in their lives, and bad luck that vanished after letting go of the doll. Even if it was just a coincidence, it's something I'll never forget. I learned something powerful. Sometimes the things we bring into our lives for fun or fashion might carry a heavy price, or sometimes our belief in them does the rest. Either way, a little care and listening to your own instincts can go a long way. So now, when I see new trends pop up on social media, I remind myself to think twice before following blindly, to keep my mind open, but my heart protected. And as for Labubu, I hope it never finds its way back to my shelf again.
A family was driving home after a wedding. There were 3 children: Liam, the oldest brother, Sophie, the middle sister, and little Emma, who was only 4 years old. Sophie was upset and crying in the car. She said she didn't want to come with them. They were returning home from Jaipur to their city. Their dad was driving, and sometimes their mom drove too. The parents tried to calm the children. They promised to bring gifts next time they went somewhere so the children could play. Emma was sad because she didn't get a present at the wedding. She didn't want to play on the phone, she just wanted a gift. While driving, the kids got angry because they might not get any gifts soon. The parents didn't know where they could buy toys. They hoped to stop at a restaurant and feed the kids their favorite food. But the children said, "We don't want food, we want a gift now." Then, their dad stopped the car by the side of the road. Mom asked why, and Dad said he saw something strange. There was a bicycle with some toys hanging on sticks. Among them was a Labubu doll. Labubu dolls are special and usually sold in boxes. You don't know which doll you will get until you open it. But this one was just hanging in a simple packet, which was unusual. Emma picked up the doll and said, "I want this one." Liam and Sophie thought the doll looked scary and not cute, but Emma insisted. She said if they didn't buy it, she wouldn't get back into the car. She even ran toward the road. Dad picked her up and bought the doll after bargaining. After that,
Everyone was happy. Emma had her doll, Liam had a toy car, and Sophie had a small toy. Things were calm for a while. Emma asked what they should name the doll. Dad told her to name it but not hold it in front of his face while he was driving. But Emma held the doll up near his face again. Mom warned her not to do that because he was driving. The car was going fast when Dad had to brake suddenly. He told Emma if she did that again, he would throw the doll away. Emma said she didn't mean to scare him. The kids explained how Emma held the doll, so Dad couldn't see properly. After that, the car was quiet. Emma was sad because she got scolded. Mom tried to comfort her by showing the name on the doll's packet, Labubu, the hated monster. Mom said the doll was not normal. It was a scary monster doll. Emma felt proud to have a special doll. She said she would keep it at home and not take it to school. Later, the family stopped at a roadside eatery. While eating, Emma said the doll was looking at them through the window. Mom said it couldn't be true because the doll was small and safe on the back seat. But then, the parents saw the doll near the window, moving a little by itself. Everyone ran to the car, but found the doll back on the seat. They all felt the doll was not ordinary, maybe even haunted. After some time, they drove again, and many strange things happened, but the parents told the children it was just jokes to keep them calm. Near their city border, their car suddenly flipped over. No one knew how. When they woke up, a day had passed. They were hurt, but alive. Strangely, the doll was still with them. Mom was scared and asked how it was still there. A helper said the children had come with the doll and asked to throw it away, but the family denied owning it. Later, Dad told a priest and his wife that during driving, the doll's face appeared on the car windshield. He tried to wipe it off, but couldn't. Then the car lost control. After rituals, the doll was destroyed, but Emma didn't remember ever buying or playing with it. Her siblings reminded her she insisted on buying it, but Emma said she didn't. The family agreed not to remind her anymore. No one knows what really happened, but their experience with the Labubu doll was very strange and scary.